And time for what I believe is going to be the highlight of the meal today. Hola Spain lovers, hola food lovers, Stuart here with another video. And when most people think of charcoal barbecues, they think of a huge grill in the back garden taking up a lot of space. But what about if you don't have that space? You're living in an apartment or a flat here in Spain and you've only got a small terrace or balcony area and you want to have a barbecue? Well, today I'm putting this compact Homavo charcoal barbecue to the test and seeing if I can cook an authentic Spanish barbecue. I'll be cooking grilled vegetables, two different types of chorizo, morcilla or black pudding, Andalusian skewers, a typical Spanish sausage called Chistorra, and an Entrecote steak. And by the end of the video, we'll see if this little grill is up to the job. Let's get started. Now let's have a look at some of the specs of this barbecue. As you can see, we've got a lid for heat retention, ventilation controls. It also comes with a protective cover. We've got a tray that pulls out easily so that you can dispose of those coals when the barbecue's finished. We've got this plate here so you can put the food on that to keep it warm when it's cooked. The barbecue, as I've mentioned, is very, very compact. And if you want to crack open a cold beer while you are cooking your barbecue, you've got a bottle opener here as well. Fantastic. The only doubt that I'm having currently is, will this barbecue be too small for all of the food that I'm going to cook? Let's find out. Now, time to get those coals ready, and in my opinion, the easiest way to do this is by using one of these things here. Now, I know what some people are thinking. Stuart, why are you using charcoal? Why aren't you using gas? It's so 1970s, 1980s. Well, the fact of the matter is, here in Spain, charcoal is king for a lot of people when it comes to their barbecues, and it's all about flavor. Yes, it might take a little longer to get ready, but believe me, it will be worth it. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the flames there that are coming up, and that tells me that this charcoal is going to be ready soon. So it's going to be a question of getting it out of this container here onto the grill part, and then we can start cooking. And the question is going to be, what do I start with first? Do I go with the sausages or do I go with the vegetables? I think I'm going to start with the latter, the vegetables. All right, so this is nearly ready. Time to get them onto the grill and add some more charcoal. Now we'll see how we go with this amount. Time to get the grills on, brand new as you can see. This is my first time using this barbecue. Let's get them in place. The vegetables almost ready to go on. We've got some onion, we've got some zucchini, we've got some fantastic Spanish tomatoes. We've also got these red capsicums or red peppers, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to be brushing them with this fantastic extra virgin olive oil so that they get nice and brown, and it will add some extra flavor too. Time to get these vegetables on. First thing I'm going to do, as I said, is brush them with a little bit of this extra virgin olive oil on top of there like that. There we go, so that they're nice and brown when they're cooked, and also that extra virgin olive oil flavor, as I said. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to put all of them on to begin with. We'll see, but let's get started with this here now. Get our tongs, some nice long tongs. Now we'll go with the vegetables that I think will take the longest to cook, which is the capsicum. So we'll put some of that on there like that. And we'll also go with our onions as well, which will take a while, I would say. Let's get them on there. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on them at all times, just to make sure that they're not burning, because the barbecue is still quite hot. So let's see how these go. And I can hear them sizzling away, and the idea is to get a nice char on these grilled vegetables. Now I've turned the onions over. As you can see, they've got a nice char on them, and the red peppers as well, or the capsicum, also getting that char. Now I'm not too worried about burning the skin side. It's the other side that I'm a little bit more worried about, so I'll get them off the direct heat if I can. And we'll leave these there for a few more minutes like that, and then we'll turn them over again. Now we'll put some zucchini on now. Also going to be keeping a close eye on these so that they don't burn. I think I'll just put 3 of those on there. And the idea with these vegetables is also to get a nice caramelization. We'll get some tomato on as well. You can hear that sizzling away. Lovely. Let's get that piece on there. And these are going to be absolutely delicious. Just going to put a bit more oil on these ones here. There we go. Not too much. And let's keep a close eye on these, as I said. I also want to get some nice grill marks on this zucchini if I can. So we'll see how they're going there. Lovely. Now the capsicums are almost done, I think, so I'll whack those up there to keep them warm off the direct heat. These tomatoes, let's see, I'll turn them over, and they're getting a nice color as well. Beautiful. And we'll turn over the zucchini or courgette. We're also getting a nice char on those as well. The onions, unfortunately, are breaking up, so I'm going to put those up there as well. I've lost a few pieces into the charcoal, but they'll keep on cooking slowly up here as well, I think, off that direct heat. So, vegetables almost done. I'm going to leave them there keeping warm, and I'm going to go and get the meat part of the barbecue, the sausages. These vegetables look as though they are done, so I'm going to get them up here onto the warming plate. The tomatoes as well, let's check it out. Maybe just give them another minute here over the direct heat. We'll make some space up here for those tomatoes, and look at all of these lovely sausages that I've got. Morcilla here in Spain, we've got Chistorra, which is this longer sausage. We've got two types of chorizo, and we also have these pinchos Andaluces, or chicken skewers, I think you would say. So let's get that off, and time to get the meat onto the grill, if I can. There we go. All right, so what am I going to start with? So the things that are going to take the longest to cook, the morcilla or black pudding. Let's put that on there. I've cut that up into pieces so that I can get it done quicker. Let's get all of that on there. I'm going to also put on these chorizos. I've got a chorizo which is an Argentinian style, which is called chorizo criollo, and the more typical Spanish ones here. So let's get those on, and I'll cook these for a couple of minutes and then put on the chicken skewers and also this longanita sausage. Now we're starting to get a bit of smoke action here, the fat coming out of these chorizos, but they're starting to cook nicely. We'll leave them over here for the time being, off that direct heat. Still quite warm there. And remember, even if you do take them off the direct heat, we've always got the lid, which we can put down. And one thing I like about the lid is that you can regulate the temperature here, and also the smoke with this valve at the top here. Temperature as well, so we know how hot this is getting inside, and we're getting up to 150, 175, coming up to 200 degrees Celsius, so quite warm inside, and everything here cooking away beautifully. The vegetables are keeping nice and warm up here on top, maybe cooking just a little bit, but obviously not burning. And the main objective with a barbecue like this is to make sure that it doesn't catch fire and you destroy all of the meat. That's the objective. Now let's get these chicken skewers on. I think I'll shut the lid for these. Let's get them onto the direct heat there. I've taken the black pudding off, or the morcilla. I've put these chorizos here to the side so that the fat doesn't spit out and make those flames catch on fire, which is important. Now, let's shut the lid and cook some of this chicken. Now the chicken skewer's coming along nicely. I've also put the Chistorra on here at the back, which is quite a fatty sausage, so I'm expecting some flame action there. I've got the different chorizo sitting up here alongside the black pudding, and the vegetables to one side as well, and everything so far going great. So chicken's been turned over, keeping a close eye on this sausage here. Quite fatty, as I mentioned, and it could go up in flames at any time. So let's get it off the main heat there. Let's see if we can cool down the cooking process a little bit. And these coals, I think, are going to be absolutely perfect for the grand finale, which is that Entrecote steak. So this is what we're dealing with here, this lovely piece of steak from the local butcher, what they call here lomo, Entrecote de lomo. And I'm fairly simple when it comes to seasoning. I'm going to put some of this thick salt on top, quite generous, pat it in, turn it over, get some more on the other side. And you can add whatever you want. Some people say that you need to season your steak beforehand. Some people say afterwards. Some people put different rubs on there. So each to their own. But this is what I'm going with here. And I want to get a good sear on this steak if I can. And again, when it comes to cooking your steak, it all depends how you like it. I prefer mine medium rare to medium, and that's what I'm going to try to do here now. I reckon 4 minutes with the lid closed on either side, I should get that. Now I'll give this steak another 30 seconds or so, and I'll get the vegetables off here now onto the plate. They're still warm, I believe. So let's get them all here onto the plate if I can. Looking a little bit messy at the moment, but I'll clean that up a little bit if I can. Separate the different vegetables here. And yeah, they smell absolutely delightful. Now let's turn our steak. And remember, we're going for that medium rare steak here. Let's put the lid back down. Now let's check the temperature of this steak. Want it around 60-65 degrees Celsius. I reckon we're getting to that just about now. So that's going to be ready in no time at all. As you can see, we've got a fantastic char on the steak. I'm also going to get the rest of the meats off here now. Give that steak 30 seconds more while I get this stuff off. We'll get these chorizos off. We'll also get the black pudding off here as well. And we'll take our steak off too. Let's put that over there. Someone's just scored a goal in the World Cup. Hopefully it's Spain, because the neighborhood is going crazy. Now let's get this beauty off. We're gonna let it sit for a few minutes, and then we're gonna get stuck into it. ¿Cómo van? So this is what summers in Spain here are all about. Fantastic weather, great food. The neighbours are going crazy because Spain has just scored a goal in the World Cup. My family's inside watching the game. They'll be out here soon, but while they're watching the game, I'm going to take the opportunity to get stuck into this fantastic Spanish barbecue feast. What shall I start with? Well, I think I'm going to start with this black pudding, morcilla as it's known here in Spain. Perfectly cooked on the barbecue. Let's get a taste of it. Absolutely no regrets whatsoever having cooked this on a charcoal barbecue. The flavors coming through, you can taste the char of the morcilla. Wonderful. And this is one of my favorite barbecue foods here in Spain, that's for sure. The next thing I'm going to try is one of these chorizos. Let's cut this one in half. A little bit charred on the outside there, but nothing to worry about, I don't think. This is the Argentinian chorizo, as you can see. Not as much paprika, if any at all, compared to the Spanish-style chorizo. Let's see. And that is also perfectly cooked. Smoky flavors coming out, a little bit of spice. Wow. Let's try the Spanish-style chorizo. We'll cut this one in half. And you can see that paprika action going on inside, very red. This is also going to give it a smoky flavor as well. Also, what the barbecue adds to it. And basically it comes down to which style of chorizo do you prefer, the Argentinian style or the Spanish style. Next up, this Chistorra sausage, very thin sausage, also with a lot of paprika going on inside. Also a very flavoursome sausage. And now time for one of these chicken skewers, or pincho andaluz. Cheers. And that is a very, very tasty piece of chicken. As you would expect, washing everything down tonight with a nice glass of Spanish wine, Rioja, salud. And time for what I believe is going to be the highlight of the meal today, this piece of steak. Let's see. Now let's cut straight into this steak and see if we've got what I'm looking for here. And I reckon we have. Maybe a little bit more than medium rare, closer to medium. But wow, it does look very, very appetizing, that's for sure. And let's accompany the steak with some of these fantastic vegetables. Get them on the plate if we can. Bit of onion, bit of zucchini, and let's cut into this steak and see if the flavors are there. Tender steak it is. Let's see. Yeah, that for me is almost perfectly cooked. One of the big problems, of course, of cooking steak on the barbecue is getting it to the perfect temperature, to just the way that you like it. And with a family like mine, where some people like it this way, other people like it the other way, this is the way that most people agree on, in my family at least. The vegetables, as you can see, have a fantastic char, and the combination of these vegetables with a steak, wow. And definitely the highlight of the meal for me. So, time to wrap this video up on this fantastic summer's night here in the center of Spain. And that's what summer's all about. Friends, family, great food, football, and let's not forget some fairly decent wine as well. And how did that small, compact Homavo barbecue perform? Well, you saw for yourself. I got a fairly decent barbecue out of it. All of the food was cooked well, no complaints whatsoever. The vegetables were easy to cook, the sausages were easy to cook, the skewers were easy to cook, and the steak, surprisingly, was also easy to cook right there at the end. And yeah, I'm impressed by how easy it was to cook that meal on that barbecue. Now, there are some links in the description section below that you can click if you want to get your hands on one of those barbecues. Perhaps you are in the market for a new barbecue, you're in a reduced space, you're in a flat or an apartment, and you want to cook outdoors. Click those links. Other questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video like this when I record it. And I want to hear your comments about the meal that I had this evening. I'd love to hear them, so leave them in that comment section below. Until the next one, hasta luego and buen provecho from a warm summer's night here on the outskirts of Madrid. Bye-bye.